Well, we solved that problem.
Good morning, everyone. It is 9 a.m. I'm going to call this meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. Commissioner Waterman, would you lead us in the pledge this morning, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We don't have anybody online or whatever. So, okay, item number 2, call for public comment. These are items that are not on the agenda. And the 2 phone numbers that we will still allow them to call in is 882-6248 or 882-6297, and they will be addressed during the open part of the meeting. We are streaming live on YouTube, and if you have a cell phone, if you could silence it, it'd be appreciated. If you need to take a call, just please step out. Item number 3, conflict of interest items. Are there any for fellow commissioners?
No.
None.
Item number 4, action to approve the March 8th
So moved.
agenda. Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Item number 5, action to approve the March 1st, 2022 minutes of the Codington County Board of Commissioners. Motion by Johnson,
I'll second.
second by Gable. Any additions or corrections? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Not hearing any. That motion carries. All right, item number 6, monthly reports. We'll start with the auditor, Cindy.
I spoke to the state, at the state youth commission meeting in February, just went down and they asked me to speak on budgeting. Just gave them a few things that we need here to keep it less complicated. I also attended the annual weed and township local meetings at the Extension Center a couple of weeks ago. It was a pretty informational meeting regarding how townships can levy for extra money to qualify for those infrastructure grant funds. The annual report is pretty much wrapped up. I'm just doing a few finishing parts on that. We still waiting for petitions to come in. Once we have all the petitions filed, the deadline is March 29th. I will probably come back to you and ask you for authorization to combine some precincts together for voting purposes for the primary, just to keep down on the number of people that we have to hire and costs, and hope that our precinct workers are agreeable to work again this year. Oops. And then we also have received notice of the consumer price index to be used for taxes payable in 2023, and that is 3% for pay 2023, which means we can increase our property tax request by 3% plus whatever growth we have of new construction. And we won't have those numbers until for a couple more months.
I don't know if we've ever had 3% since. I've
It's
been
been a long
commissioner.
time since we've had a 3%
Yeah.
CPI, and this comes from the Department of Revenue. So that information has also been sent out to the townships and the towns. That's about it.
All right, any questions for Cindy? I would just add, she did a very good job at that weed, state weed board meeting. I think it was very informational, and there's just a lot of questions sometimes that, or just a lack of knowledge. So it
Yeah,
was very
They
good.
were good questions, you know.
Mhm.
Why can't the money I take in go back into my budget instead of into the general fund? Well, it's because your budget was set up anticipating these costs, so that revenue cannot be used to supplement a budget unless it's unanticipated. So
Yeah.
there were some good questions.
Yep. It's good knowledge for them going forward. All right, any other questions? Then let's move on to the Director of Equalization. We have Shauna here. Good morning, Shauna.
Morning.
I don't have a whole lot of new stuff to report. We sent out our notices a couple weeks ago, and basically we're spending our days and nights answering questions about those. And then we still have to send out, because it's a law now, all the information about the assessment programs. And so we get quite a few questions about those as well. So, but basically, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, when you sent out the tax freeze information, that generated probably quite a few calls for individuals, or not as much as you maybe thought.
It does. There's a lot of people that they'll read all of them and see if there's anything that they can do, but a lot of them, they're just wondering why we're sending them out and hoping that they can get something. But yeah, it generates a lot of phone calls hoping that they can get something. And so then we just kind of go through anything that we think they can get. But yeah, we get one or two every year, which is better than none.
Right.
So when you're talking about, so what does the law exactly say about, so we have to notify?
Yep, property owners have to be notified of the assessment programs that are available out there. And
Okay.
so in every assessment, I'm not sure if you looked at yours yet, there's an actual extra sheet that goes over like the elderly assessment freeze, the veterans, owner occupied is in there. I can't remember, there's like 4 or 5.
So we're talking about, just so people know what we're talking about, is it's assessed value, not the tax itself, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so.
Mhm.
I do know Carol sent also to the local newspapers and radio stations a PSA on the deadline for the assessment freeze for the
For the
elderly.
elderly
She just sent
assessment
that
freeze.
out this week, so kind of as an extra push.
What's the tentative date for equalization? You have any
April
idea?
12th.
April 12th.
Yep, the local boards will meet the 17th of March, which is like a week later than normal, which gives a little extra time. I know they're going to be very busy this year from the sounds of it, but we will be meeting April 12th. And depending on what we have, if, you know, just like any year, we can add a date or not. But we'll be meeting at 1 PM on the 12th here. And then we'll be meeting at 6:30 PM on the 12th over at City Hall, but not until April 12th.
At City Hall is a joint. Joint
Yep, joint. Yep.
joint boards.
We have the room
Excuse me.
booked and we have all of our members. So I'll start emailing you guys probably in a couple weeks just to remind everybody and get it on the calendars. and
Right.
stuff.
And you did give us those handouts,
Yep,
your last report for us to look over, just the process of it. so.
yeah. And all the dates are on there, so.
Mhm.
Great.
And like, I guess if you have individuals that have questions, you know, with their assessments or questioning, it's always good to just encourage them to call Shauna's office if they have any questions, so they can look it over. If it, you know, there's sometimes human errors and sometimes not. but
Yep.
It's always good just to give them that opportunity to visit with them, so.
Yes, it is. But that's all I really got.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone else
Thanks,
have any
Shauna.
questions? Ready. Thank you, Shauna. All right, we'll move on then to welfare with Sarah. Morning,
Good morning.
Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
You want me to show the chart first, or?
Sure, did you see the one I
did.
didn't
I was
realize?
wondering about that.
Yeah, the one I sent out with the minutes or the agenda wasn't the full report, it was just one section of it, so. Yeah, just to go over it again. I'm not sure how great of a reflection this is on what we're doing, but it's what we have
For now.
for now. It's in the works.
Hopefully that.
The helpline center will improve that.
Mhm.
So, with the monthly report, numbers were. They don't take these
She better put one and put it on.
Yeah, right. Name tag on that. pen.
Mhm.
So we were down a little bit in February from January, quite a bit. It's always interesting to me because it doesn't necessarily feel that way, but that's what the numbers show. So again, intensity, it isn't reflected in just the numbers. So I don't know, any questions about that piece of it at all? The data piece?
Right. I appreciate though the accuracy of that
Mhm.
because that's the actual number. The amount of hours that you put in obviously doesn't reflect it, but at least we know
The
more
number
accurately
Mhm.
what the number is. 'cause-
yeah.
We talked about that we had a meeting with the.
with the helpline
Thanks for, yeah,
center.
thanks for including me. It was, but where
Yeah.
you're gonna talk about hours you might spend on a particular client, so we
Mm-hmm.
could maybe get a little bit more of the intensity part of it
Mhm.
coming down the pike. Right now, it's would be a manual drill of trying to, so.
Recall all of them. Yeah, so which is and I'm gonna jump ahead to that since we're talking about it. We met with the helpline center. They have developed ours and now they're tweaking it there was some input that they needed from our office. And I am very hopeful that within the next few weeks, very hopeful that for sure by the end of March that we'll have the software from the helpline center up and going in our office. And it's gonna allow much more accurate reporting, because what this doesn't reflect is the 3 times that we help the same individual. It's just one individual.
Right.
And so it's gonna have a better reflection on the numbers. They have a lot of reporting opportunities, which it will be helpful in figuring that out. And so our Commissioner Gable, I apologize. But we will, so it'll just be helpful to have that. And so hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll have that up and going. With that, so back to the services in the apartment, we have 1 male staying there right now. We've had some conversations with brothers and sisters behind bars if we want to continue the apartment. And I think that's just we know the need is there. The question is that the right way to be meeting that need? I know for certain that we as a community need a better option, because this is sort of kind of meeting the need in the community. It does for the people that it works for, I guess is what I'll say. But we have other people that have more of a need. So those conversations are happening, and we're not positive yet if we will continue having the emergency apartment or just go back to hotels down in the future until other options can be figured out in the community. So for CARES ERA, February so those hours were up. Carrie had 110 hours in February, so 5,500 administrative fees from that. And then ICAP Hunter billed 21 hours to the county. So that's, she's building that back up and reestablishing what her role as far as the case management. And her and I are continuing to have conversations on ways she can help the community through our office with that. So our office, we talked about the helpline centers, network of care. It is going to be Codington County network of care going forward, and Codington County will have our own software system in that network of care, if that makes sense with that. And then other agencies will have the same software as well. The community health worker position, we did interviews that we've offered, and it's on the agenda for you guys to approve that position today. So I'm excited to be able to move that forward. And I also am working on us going down to Sioux Falls along with the sheriff and the state's attorney, the 4 of us, to go to Sioux Falls to learn about what they do so that we can apply those strategies in Watertown. And office furniture has been delivered 6 to 8 weeks. She said 8, I'm hoping 6. So we'll just see.
Maybe 10.
Right. Shh. We want, yeah. So we'll make do until then, but once we get it in, it'll be nicer to have. And then with the South Dakota Association of County Welfare Officials, we're planning the spring conference, which is going to be April 13th and 14th for that. And I do have also on the agenda, as we had a Lake Area Tech HST student that requested to do her internship. She was one of the students that had done the job shadowing with us in the fall, and she's requested to come and do a longer internship with us. I am going to be out on vacation next week. So just so that you know, I'll be out all of next week for that. And then we did get a call Friday afternoon from the Social Security. It's a trainer. She's actually out of Denver, and has requested that our office be kind of a community outreach site to help people, to assist people with Social Security applications. And so there's going to be some training involved in that. I really view that as a win-win. One of the challenges that we run into is the Social Security office is still closed, so people can't go in for one-on-one. And we have a lot of clients that need Social Security assistance. So if our office can be an outreach center for that and have a direct contact at the Social Security office, that'll help us facilitate that process for clients.
I have to have an armed guard sit outside.
Well, we have Dave.
Well, you have Dave.
He calls us if there's any concerns. He's good. Yeah. Yeah. And then System of Care, the interagency meeting is this Thursday. Jessica Tesh is going to be talking about financial education resources. 37 individuals attended last month. Strategic planning continues to move forward. We, our next step is going to start being the moving it into action. We've had a lot of idea discussions, and so the last meeting was really identifying the needs. And so the next step is to start doing the action steps and putting out the plan, or putting together the plan, I mean. The network of care, again, as a community level, they're continuing to work with agencies. I've been in some communication with that. And so she has meetings with 4 or 5 different agencies throughout the community to start bringing their software system to those agencies so we can connect each other with that. And resilient communities continuing to focus on the training of adverse childhood experiences, or that ACEs. It's a really fantastic training. And we really want to get the word out there that that's for more than just social service providers. It's for community members at large, because it can help us all have a better understanding of why people act the way that they do. So. So far, we've had about 120 community members that have attended the ACEs training, and our next one is April 13th from 10 to noon at Lake Area Tech. Also, there's a statewide competition that they're calling it. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and so they're challenging, I think they've chosen 10 communities in the state of South Dakota to put on the ACEs, or Adverse Childhood Experience Training, and they're doing a challenge. Whichever community can have the most people attend is going to get some sort of recognition or reward or something. So we're putting it out there for that. I'm wishing we could combine the last 3 months, but it's just the April one, I guess. So we'll see, but it's exciting to have that. And then I'm doing some community presentations as well about that. I presented to Rotary last week, and I'm presenting to the child protection team in Watertown this week about what's going on with system of care.
Busy.
Yeah, keeping it up.
She is busy.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Yes, do you guys have any?
I think so.
All right,
Good
I
report.
don't think well,
Here.
we could move down to 9 since you're here, if that works for everyone. Item number 9, action to approve the LATC intern contract for the welfare office. Oh, I don't know if you
I've
want.
read through that
Oh,
contract. I'll make a motion to approve it.
All righty,
Second that.
motion by Van Duzen, second by Cable. Does anyone have any questions, or was there anything, Sarah, that you wanted to add to that?
No, just to make sure that this is a human services tech program through Lake Area, and she had done that job shadowing with me in the fall.
So this is for the internship, or this?
This is for an internship, and
Right.
so the contract is a little bit different than the job shadowing because it'll be a little bit more involved.
Or does it put, I guess the question says, does it put burden on you? Do they come back and ask you for an evaluation of the student? I mean, I would think they probably would.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A
okay,
little.
all right.
Yeah, I do view it as the job shadowing and internships. It is, I feel, is part of like contributing to the community, bringing people, future professionals in.
It gives them an opportunity
Win-win
to,
for us and them.
Yeah,
do what they went to school for in that field. That gives them a little experience.
yeah.
Is this a paid? It's not a paid.
No.
internship.
No, we don't do those in the social services world.
But it's college credit for this.
Right,
this particular
yes.
student.
Yeah,
It's probably part of the
It's a huge-
requirement.
it is.
Huge need.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
require paid internships for liability purposes. That's what we.
Oh,
That's in the.
yeah, they're, Yeah.
Indemnify each other.
All right. Any more questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, then we'll move on to item number 7, action to approve a plat resolution of Landry addition in Fuller Township. And we have Luke here to give a little explanation. This came before the planning commission last month. So good morning, Luke.
I didn't. I had to make a couple of cuts here this morning to make it work. So I'll hand it to you here this time.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning again.
Good morning.
We have the plat of Landry addition in the southwest quarter of the northwest quarter, section 29 in Fuller Township. For what it's worth, that's 11853. Fuller's a big township. The we've already issued the farmstead exemption at the Board of Adjustment. This is just a plat to fulfill their obligation to have a 5-acre lot. They have done so, 5 acres. I drew a little square rectangle to show where it's at on a map. But again, this is just straight north of Highway 20 is where this is located. A little bit, it's north of Compesca, straight north of Highway 20 on, what is that street? It is 449th Avenue. And Planning Commission recommended approval of this at its last meeting.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. Any comments or questions about that? Hearing any, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Are you okay with me just giving you an update on our Board of Adjustment schedule here and Planning Commission real quick while I'm in here? So I just want to give the commissioners a heads up. First of all, I'll be out probably starting the end of this week through next week. Becky will as well. So we've moved the Board of Adjustment meeting back a week to whatever day that would be, the 28th. Just want to give you a heads up that's a week later. And also the Planning Commission's been working on one amendment for extended home occupations, which is home-based businesses. That will require a public hearing in April at their April meeting. We're hoping to do joint public hearings on that as well as an administrative update, which would dovetail some changes to state law from going on 3 years ago already. And then also some updates to the town district and aquifer protection. The aquifer protection will be pretty simple, but anyway, just kind of wanted to say we're going to try and get you all together in the same room at the April meeting. And that would be on the 18th of April. So I kind of want to give you a heads up that we'd try and do something jointly there and try and roll 3 amendments into one meeting and do it that way. So that's
It'll be
it.
the 19th, because 18th is Easter Monday.
Oh, that's right. We're talking the 19th.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that's at 7:30. The one in March still is at 12:30.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. The one in March is at 12:30 on the 28th. And you're right. April 19th would be the date of that other one. And we'll talk about times as we get closer. We might try to schedule that joint hearing an hour earlier just to kind of get, so you guys don't have to sit through the whole meeting.
Sorry. Multitasking. I'm not signed for you.
Luke's got another meeting.
No.
Yeah. All right. That's all I needed. Anything
Thanks,
for me?
Luke.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. All right, item number 8, action to approve the auditor's account with treasurer and note monthly register of deeds fees.
The report that you're looking at, the first, or one of those is register of deeds fees were collected in the amount of $44,210.75 in February. And then you have the report of the cash and cash items on hand as of the last day of February. The second page of that report shows you where our cash balances are currently.
Move to approve.
All right, motion by Van Dusen,
One second.
second by Gable. Any questions or comments for Cindy? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. All right, now we'll move on to item number 10. Action to rescind the motion of February 22nd, 2022 regarding the weed department assistant weed supervisor. I don't know if Steve wants to come up. Basically we'll just let him come up, do a little explanation, and then we'll go from there.
Last week I came, so I had in the open on this. This was a item about which I have a gentleman that has been filled in this position already prior to it. Probably 2-3 years ago I put him. So it was kind of a misunderstanding in the fact of that this position was already
All right.
there.
So we didn't need to advertise.
We didn't
We
really
just
need to
need to
That's
advertise.
advertise.
basically,
Yep.
yeah, that's basically the problem. Okay.
So I guess I would look for a motion to rescind the motion from February, and a motion in a second. We'll take care of that first.
So move.
Motion by Waterman, second by Van Dusen. Any comments or questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, that motion carries. So then item number 11 then is action to approve the assistant weed supervisor job description and fill said position.
So move.
Motion by Waterman, second by Johnson. Any comments or questions on that?
So this is the job description we approved on the 20.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
February 22nd. Okay, it's not,
Yep.
it's not
Yes.
actually in the,
No,
it's not in this.
it was
packet,
from
but-
February
yeah, no,
27th.
we've Already approved.
We pretty much, yes, it was
Yeah,
just,
no, I get it. Just so people
clean
understand
up.
what the, yeah.
Yep.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, we will move on then to item number 12. I don't know, Brad wants to be in here. Action to approve a fulfillment contract for commissary software and hardware for the detention center. Yeah, somebody caught him. Usually happens. All right,
Morning.
good morning.
Morning.
Brad.
We have Brad and Matt
Yeah.
to explain to us what you have come up with.
We are here, like I said, I've been kind of talking about commissary for the last year or so here. We've been looking at a lot of different companies. Traveled and we've checked out a few different companies as well, and some other jails that use different companies, and did a lot of homework. We kind of settled with Prodigy Solutions. They they do inmate phones. They do a little bit of everything. We currently have a contract with Securus for phones. So we are just looking solely at this time to go forward with commissary. Commissary, like say, if you want, I can do a quick rundown on commissary. Commissary is an opportunity for inmates to be able to buy supplies that they don't typically get from the jail that aren't taxpayer bought. If they want to buy potentially candy bars or extra soap or deodorant or something that other than what the county provides, something that's a little bit better, they should be able to buy this through that company. And then they'll get delivered once a week to the inmates. The county actually makes 30% on the gross sales, all sales that are done in commissary. So there's an opportunity for the county to make a little bit of funds here. The nice thing about this, when we were checking out all these different companies here, this one, they do GED training, and there's an opportunity for other types of trainings through their platform. So essentially each room will have a kiosk in the cell block that they'll be able to order their supplies. They'll be able to do training on a call it similar to like an iPad, but a jail-proof iPad.
Did you say GED training?
GED training, yes.
Do their classes on
So
what
they
they
can
learn while
Oh,
they're
great.
better themselves.
Cool.
That's free, part of the program here. So essentially an offender pay program, and they're paying for it. It'll pay for all these things as well. There are some other trainings and some other stuff in the future that we'll probably look at too, like parenting classes and some other stuff that they should be able to do. Our goal is to just get the program up and going with GED training to get started here and kind of get that all up and going. There is no cost to the county except for our labor of handing out the supplies and then the accounting part of it at the end. On the accounting part of it, we're going to open up a separate account, separate bank account, and I'd like to put $10,000 to $15,000 in there from our phone card area, because we won't be spending $65,000 a year on phone cards. It's all going to be done through online and through the kiosk in the front office there. So it'll be done a little bit different there. So county will save some money on phone cards. And that $10,000 to $15,000, that's just a bank balance. The reason we have to ask for somewhere around that amount is if all the inmates were to get out, that's the money that they would take with them. So as an inmate comes in, they'll put their money into a money crunching machine, counts it up, puts it on their account. Let's say that inmate gets out and 2 hours later and they brought in $4,000. There needs to be that money in there to sustain, to give that inmate their debit card so they can leave. So the
So it'll be a
program.
form of a
It's like a reverse ATM. So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
come, you put your money in the ATM, and then we give you a debit card when you get out,
When
which is
you-
just backwards.
When you leave, you just get a debit check card.
Once that money's put into the system, it never touches hands again.
It never touches hands again, except for when
Yeah.
we do our deposits.
Right.
That's why we put 10 to 15 in there. And like I say, that'll balance out every month. That's not an expense. That's just
startup.
yes, we don't have to do a bank run every 12 hours to make sure that we're got money in the account.
I
So,
like it.
so in short, that's kind of commissary. Like say the next month or two here, we're gonna have a lot of homework on our end to go through the commissary menu to see what we're gonna allow and what we're not gonna allow. There's options from shirts to clothes to you name it, the sky's the limit are the options. So we'll have to see what fits for our facility and go forward with that on our menu.
So basically you'll have a menu system for the inmates. They can go through the list every week, figure out what they want to purchase.
Yep.
And they have a standing account with you?
With any funds that the family can put them in, put some funds in their account online. Or if they bring money in, if they have money, it'll be on their account.
Okay,
And say won't be able to spend more than what's in their account because it'll zero out.
right.
There's options in the future that the county, we can look at their liens for their cost of confinement. We can put some of that stuff into the system, so it'll take a percentage of that if they have money in the account. So there's the software is a really good software from all the programs we've looked at. So
No cost.
No cost. They
No
provide all
cost,
the
yeah.
hardware.
actually,
Everything.
yeah. So
This won't cover any like bail money or anything like that.
actually, it can. Family member, if they want to, they can go online or they can come into the kiosk and they can put bail money in for the person that's in jail. And then they can earmark it strictly for bail if they want. That way the inmate can't spend it on other stuff. So there's a lot of, like I say, going back to the software, it's really advanced. And
So like a bail laid away.
Yep.
Like bail laid away, like the old bail.
Yep.
So you can come in, swipe your card and bail. somebody out of jail.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Gable, second by Van Duzen.
Just by way of discussion, Madam Chair. So just to give me an idea, so this is gonna be like a hardened flat screen thing mounted on the wall. And
Initially here for the first year, we're gonna have essentially just iPads, 12 iPads, jail proof. When I say iPads, we're not handing out iPads.
I get that.
It's a special jail tablet similar to an iPad for the first year here. So we can test them and make sure that this is the company we want to go forward with. And then like say, next year, our phone and communications contract is up with our current provider. We've had a lot of issues with them and we're looking at doing something different. And this year testing commissary with this company would hopefully be a good test for possibly going forward, maybe communications in the future with this company.
I guess I would just like to say that, thanks for doing this. I know you've looked at this for quite some time now. I think we've been talking about doing something like this for a couple of years. I think it's just one more creature comfort. I mean, jail isn't meant to be a fun ride, but it's providing a resource to those folks if they need it. And
Like I said, we also look at it as another disciplinary option.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone is acting up in jail, we can just suspend their account temporarily as a, yeah, essentially. So,
well, I think it's a great tool. Thanks for doing it.
And we go and watch TV and I'm not thinking about the other guy. That
right. So,
All right. Well, we have a motion second. We ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not hearing any. That motion carries.
all right.
Very
Sounds
good.
good.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
Item number 13, action to approve abatement applications. Do we have any, Cindy?
No abatements today.
All right, then action on 14, action to approve claims for payment. It's in your packet. Any
Total
highlights?
claims.
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Total claims are $884,594.49. Of that amount, $518,910.65 is state motor vehicle collections that goes to the state of South Dakota. I did not see anything that jumped out at me this month. Did anybody have any questions on any of the claims?
See that we we made our payment for the South Dakota. What was it? I scrolled by it now. I can't remember. Catastrophic legal fund.
Yep.
It's a second quarter payment.
That's it.
It's actually the first quarter that was incorrect.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be first quarter.
Oh, the cash, yeah, that actually should have said first quarter.
Yeah.
They did apologize for putting the wrong amount on there.
The amount's right, though. Dollar
And
amount?
we also paid, or maybe that's coming up, maybe we haven't paid that one yet. Yeah, that one must be in the works for the catastrophic poor relief. That's coming in with bills in March. I've seen the invoice for that. It's not with this bunch of claims, so.
For the local zoo, that was the amount we
Yes,
budgeted, so
that is
that's
the
just
amount
that
that you
payment.
approved to budget
Yes,
for them,
yeah.
yes. 22,000, I believe.
Mhm, yep. Okay.
Yes.
I noticed, I just was going through this, it's just, I don't know, I'm sitting there shaking my head because it's jury duty, court appointed attorneys. I tell you what, people, don't realize how much money the county spends on.
We
On
actually
legal.
have a jury trial going on this week that should last the entire week. So there were a number of jurors called in yesterday. This is not a criminal case, but we are responsible for the jury fees for all jury.
Civil?
Yes, civil, yes. So
Yeah, it just-
this is actually one that ended in a mistrial a year ago when several jurors came down with COVID.
But I think one of the things.
During the trial, they had to declare a mistrial and start over.
Yeah,
So we're paying twice on this one.
Well, they're not gonna get rich by serving on the jury. but,
That is for sure. You
we
get
thank them for their
$10 a
service.
Hearing to be, subject to the questioning, and then I think it's $50 a day to sit here for.
It does add up though, Myron, you're right.
our court appointed
And not
attorneys.
every private employer provides their employees with time off for jury duty.
Yeah.
So it is a hardship for some.
The court appointed attorney is 19,725. How are we doing there? Is that, I know we increased the budget in that area. It
I mean, look,
just keeps creeping up on us, so.
crime is not going well. Let's- Court appointed attorneys, to date, we have spent 18% of the budget, so that's right in there with what we have budgeted, might be up just a tiny bit, but we have a budget of $250,000 and year to date. Let me see it, I think
And
these
that-
bills are included in this, let me double check though.
Cindy, does that include the public defender contract in
Nope,
that number?
that's
That's just court appointed
This is
attorneys.
just court appointed attorneys.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's.
public defender is a little easier to
Right.
control because we have a contract.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to I was just making sure that wasn't. in that.
No, it does not include this.
Yeah.
So we have paid year to date over 46,000 for court appointed attorneys.
Cindy,
Above the public defender.
in that public defender line, 288, there's a miscellaneous costs
Yep.
in there. What would that entail?
For any subpoenas they have to serve, any.
That's not part of the contract?
Nope, it is
So
not.
basically paying for lawyer. fees, lawyer-
Subpoenas, yeah,
We're
the
basically paying for
contract
the
pays
lawyer's
for the
time.
attorneys.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous costs would be subpoenas, travel, copies, whatever they need to conduct their case. Expert witnesses possibly, something like that.
I think that thing to keep in mind that folks, it's kind of bread and butter business of a county is, public safety and kind of funding aspects of the justice system to include, the building, the courthouse building, and a lot of the facilities, as well as the jury process. So that's and the public defense process and the prosecution sometimes. So that's on counties by law. It's just the way things are put together. So.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. I just wanted clarification on
No, no,
why
I
there's two
Yeah.
different expenditures for one law firm there.
That was just a daily civics lesson.
And our, point of
Thanks,
interest, our current
Oh,
public
this is
defender
what-
contracts do expire at the end of this year, so. Yes.
All right, any other questions? Are we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
We need a motion.
Well, I thought we had a motion. on
No.
that.
I'll make a
All right,
motion.
motion by Gable.
Pay the bills.
I thought we did.
Second.
Second by Van Duzen. We ready to vote now? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries. All right, how about automatic budget supplements?
We have an automatic budget supplement to the welfare budget for ERA payments we have made for rent, utilities, miscellaneous things for people who qualify. And we have spent $39,010.21 in the month of February, and we will supplement the welfare budget with that amount based on funding we have received to pay these claims.
So I need a motion. to-
Yes.
Yep.
I'll make that motion
Motion by Gable.
to approve. This is
Second.
not controversial,
Second.
gentlemen.
Nobody
I'll
else
second
wants to
that
second. I'll
motion.
second. I mean, I'm
I'll
just waiting
second
for
it.
someone
It's
else to
just
second something.
Any other questions, comments? That's just something now that's it's going through the welfare office instead of the state. So
Correct.
that's a new process. We ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 16, action to approve personnel changes, which we have one in our packet unless you have something else, plus we'll want to mention.
Yes, we have two, actually. The first one is a letter from Veteran Service Assistant Peg Rammel and her intention to retire as of July 31st, 2022. And then the second one is the Community Care Coordinator position. Nicole, do you want to? Okay, Lavalley has been hired to take that position, effective date March 22nd. Pay grade is 25, step 1, 1958 per hour. So you'll be taking action to accept Peg's letter of retirement and this personnel change.
And this is the one where we received the grant funding for.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. Any comments or questions?
I do have a question. Was there another action that was going to be taken at this week's meeting in regards to the emergency management?
I haven't received any
No.
information,
Nope.
no.
Okay, okay,
Nope.
all
Not
right.
on the agenda.
Okay.
So. All right.
Sounds fine.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. How about 17, travel requests?
None today.
Public notices, possible quorum of commissioners, Sioux Valley Commissioner Association meeting Wednesday, March 23rd in Clark. Does anyone have anything else that we could have a quorum of commissioners at?
Sarah, do you wanna? Nope, I'll take it.
Maybe the interagency meeting tomorrow at
Yeah,
2.
and government affairs, but usually that's.
Yeah.
not-
Other than that, I don't
think I
have.
told you I
anything
was
else.
gonna go to the one in Clark, Cindy.
I believe so. It's on my desk, but I believe I've got you and Brenda down. Yes.
All right, any other notices? Alrighty, old business. Do we have any old business? Any new business? I guess, I don't know, this may qualify. So just so that the public is aware, Commissioner Van Duzen and I did attend a joint meeting with some city officials on the possibility of co-locating some of our highway department services. And so just so the public is aware that we are having open discussions about that. And if there's a way that we can save the tax dollars and share some of our services, we're open-minded about that. So those discussions have started, just very preliminary.
And since you bring that up, Madam Chair, if I can add to that, it's very preliminary at this
Yes, very
point.
preliminary.
But if anybody has any comments, we would certainly like to hear what those are as well.
It's kind of unique, we do the same thing, but the way we go about it is very different, and we're
Right.
learning that as we go. But there may be some possibilities there, so we are definitely going to take a hard look at that. So I guess we're to action to enter an executive session. Do you have a need? You want to have a need?
I'd like to have just a short session on the personnel.
Okay,
Kim?
sure. All right, then, look for a motion to go into executive session under number 1 personnel.
So move.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
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 And there will-
Opposed? Will there be any action
No,
after?
no.
Just information. Okay. We are gonna